Hello, beauties. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day. We are going to put together another card from the June 2023 Stamp of the Month kit. And in case you are new or maybe you're not very familiar how my program works, anytime that you place a $75 website order with me during the month of June 2023, you're going to get this 6-project pre-cut kit shipped right to your door. It is just a thank you gift from me to let you know that I'm grateful that you chose to do business with me during the month of June. So there's no strings attached. You're not committing yourself to a club or committing yourself to ordering every single month. It's just a thank you gift from me. So you will find the other projects in this kit over on the YouTube channel as well. Today we're going to put together this fun little, it's using a custom stencil that's also included in your kit. You'll find the videos for the other ones, as I said, over on YouTube. I do love this fun little easel card that was super fun to put together, and we used our stamp pads as watercolors for these two cards. Today we're going to use them with our blending brushes, and I think that you guys will really enjoy it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So if you'll get into your kit, you guys are going to see you're going to see 2 base pages, 4 cards and envelopes that have all of the pieces for your card kit down inside each one of them. You also have a little zip top baggie that has all of the pre-cut pieces for your 2 mini album pages, as well as if you guys were to have any consumable embellishments like the ribbon that's included in this kit, that is found in the little zip top baggie as well. But if you guys will also thumb through there, you're going to have this little piece here that has the rounded corners. This is the cardstock that's provided for you to be able to cut out your greenery that's used for the mini album pages. You'll have plenty of space to do that. And then you'll see this other piece of white cardstock that has a hole in it. This is our custom stencil that we're going to be using today. So you guys are going to need your envelope that has your card pieces for this fun little stenciled card, as well as the little white cardstock that has the hole cut out of it as well. So it's just a very fun, quick and easy little stencil, guys, and you can make your own stencils just with cardstock and even a thin cut. You don't even have to have a Cricut if you don't have any of those fancy schmancy die cutting machines. You can do it with just a thin cut and make any shape that you have in your stash as well. So I just made one with a circle that's going to be really easy for us to do some fun ink blending. So as I said, on the easel cards, we used our stamp pads with watercoloring. So be sure to check out that video if you want to learn how easy that is to do. Today, we're going to do it with the blending brushes. We're going to use the very same colors of the stamp pads. We're just going to use them in a little bit different way. And so if you guys would like to change the colors in your sunset, you're welcome to do that. I, of course, use the grape, the flamingo, the papaya, and the honey butter that you're going to see in a moment. But if you guys want to different colors in your sunset, you're welcome to pick anything in your color palette. So I am putting my stencil on the front of my white cardstock that was inside the envelope, and then I'm just taking a bit of our masking tape and I am going to adhere this on here. We're going to be able to bring it up off of there when we're done with it, and it won't rip that cardstock. This is a really, really low tack tape. It's even lower tack than your washi tape. So I have my stencil there on the front. You can see I have this opening here that we're going to be able to add these really fun colors here on the inside, and that's just going to provide a really pretty mask for us. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to grab my honey butter color first. I usually do start with the lightest color first, just because I feel like I can always blend over the lighter colors if I feel like I have too much of the lighter color. If I end up having too much of the darker color, you're just kind of stuck. So I like to start with the lighter colors first. I feel like that just is a little bit more, if I were to blender and need to kind of cover some of that up, it's much easier to do with the lighter color. So I'm going to start, let's see if we can get this card over here in frame. I'm going to start with my honey butter on the bottom. And I am just going to take my blending brush and go in a circular motion. Now, I wanted mine pretty bold. If you would rather have more of a lighter sunset, then you're not going to need as much ink as what I'm putting on there. But I really wanted mine pretty bold. So I am going to go back in with several layers of the honey butter ink. Now, if you guys will look, I'm using that little gray Fiskars mat that we used to carry. I usually work much better with when I'm elevated up off of the surface. I know it's so weird. I have like all of these little weird things that make my job easier that doesn't make any sense to anyone else. But what is helpful with the little mat is that I will place my ink pad over here on the right. And so whenever I am kind of going in and grabbing my color, loading my color up on the blending brush, I am able to, if I swoop left, then I'm actually putting pressure on that ink pad, and the little mat here is stopping it. So it's not like, you know, flying all over my desk space. I know, you know, some craft stores I have seen, they have little trays to kind of hold your ink pads and that kind of thing. And it just, I don't know, for me, it just kind of felt a little like something else I had to have on my surface that was gonna be in my way. So this just works really easy for me to just put it up next to that mat. And I like how it just kind of holds it in place and allows me to kind of run around with my brush and that kind of thing. So I placed my papaya ink on there. I'm going back in and I am just slightly overlapping it on that honey butter to kind of blend those two. Of the 4 colors, those are the 2 colors that blend the least. The ones that are a little bit more difficult to kind of get that seamless blend there. And I will tell you guys as well, I bought blending brushes before Close to My Heart added them to their product line. I really wish I would have waited. These, a lot of the blending brushes that you see on the market do not have white bristles, so it's really difficult to see what color you've used it. I kind of have a rule of thumb where I will use one color or one brush per color family. So like, you know, my pinks have a brush, my reds have a brush, my blues have a brush, that kind of thing. I don't actually have a blending brush for every single color in our palette. That just doesn't feel... it just doesn't really feel logical to me. But what I love about our brushes is they have white bristles so that I can see at a glance what color I have been using with them. And I don't have to thumb through my basket and look for the little stickers that came with the ones that I got online. So if you guys have not bought any blending brushes yet, I will tell you, Close to My Hearts are quite wonderful. And I especially love that they have the white bristles. So I am kind of going back in just like I did before, and I'm just kind of blending the flamingo in with the papaya. And you can see that has a much better blend than with the honey butter. So we're going to get this one out of the way. And then our last color is the grape. And this grape is so bold, you guys. It's absolutely beautiful. It is just a beautiful, beautiful color. So we're going to go in and we are going to add a lot of color up here in the top. We are going to try, heavy on the word try, we're going to try to not get the little brush stroke lines. I do that very often. I'm not just super skilled with my brushes. I love them. I'm just still learning like a lot of other people. So we're going in with that dark, dark, dark purple. It's so pretty, you guys. I think this looks good. We're going to lift up one of the edges so that we can see how we did. Now, if we need to go back in and add more color somewhere, or if we have a blender somewhere, then we'll have the other portion of the stencil where we can bring it back down. But that looks absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. So we are going to... do a little bit more stamping on this. What I actually think we'll do really quickly while this is a really heavy amount of ink, so it's very saturated on here. So what we're going to do is let's do a couple other things before we bring our blacks in. I always liked, when I'm able, I like to be stamping on a very dry surface so that none of my inks will bleed or smear or run or anything like that. So we're going to do a few other things just to take up a little bit of time while we're watching the paint on the wall dry, or rather the ink on the cardstock dry. We're going to do that while this is drying. So I'm just running my doodling pen around the outer edge of the white layer here. This is not necessary, but if you guys have followed me for any amount of time, you know that I am just wicked obsessed with doodling lines and frames and, you know, things drawn all around everything. It's just kind of something that I really enjoy. But then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make our cute little bow. So this is a little tool that I have been using for years and years and years. It's called the Bow Easy. I will link it below in the video where you guys can grab them, providing they're in stock. I actually didn't look before I turned the camera on. But you can get them sometimes on eBay and sometimes on Amazon. Sometimes they're in one place or not the other. But it's an awesome little tool. And I'll also link a tutorial that I filmed years ago that showed you guys start to finish in really slow motion how to make double bows and triple bows and multi-looped bows, and it's just a cool little very inexpensive gadget that also happens to be made in the United States. So the way that you can determine the size of your bow, there's 7 different sizes on this one. They make a larger one that you can make like great big ones for maybe like your front door or like the top of your Christmas tree or something like that. But the way that you can determine which size you're actually making is your bow, your ribbon is going to span from one edge to the other on the outer edges of these little openings here. So like this makes a smaller bow, this makes a larger bow, right? Because you have to have a little slot in the middle, and then your bow is going to be the size from one end to the other. So I can't actually remember which size I made. It looks like it's this one right here. So you can see this little notch will fit right down on there. Now I'm not going to do this really slow because like I said, I'll put the video to the tutorial that I filmed below. There was a tutorial years ago that the company put out, and it was just like, it was not good. It was very dark. It was very difficult to follow, and I did not really understand it much at all. So after years of using this little tool and having my customers and other people who would watch my videos ask, you know, where to get it and how to make it work, I just ended up filming my own tutorial, and they really had a lot of luck with that. So the interesting thing, it was kind of like, I always say, it's kind of like riding a bike. Once you get it, you will never forget it. Even if you go a year without using it, you'll pick it right back up. I have every time that I've like put it down for a break. But when you understand in your brain that when you're making your bow, you're actually making them backwards and upside down. So it doesn't look like a bow until you take it off of here and flip it around. And then you say, oh my gosh, that's the cutest thing ever. And the fun thing is that this is a double bow. Okay. I don't even know how to make a double bow with just my hands. But even if I could, it would not look quite as cute. Now you can make triple bows and quadruple bows, and I like to use twine and baker's twine and make bows that have like 12, 15 loops, so they're really poofy, kind of like a pom-pom. That's super, super, super fun as well. So just a lot of fun things that you can do with this fun little tool. It's very inexpensive. They're like $5 or something. I have broken some over the years, and so I've bought multiples, of course, and I just love them. They're awesome little gadgets. So look in the description of the YouTube video and you guys will see a link for if you want to learn more about that. So let's go ahead, and now we're going to do a bit of our black stamping. So we're going to stamp our greenery overlapping our beautiful sunset, and then we're going to put a sentiment down at the bottom as well. So let's go ahead and get our stamping platform out, because you guys know I don't do a very good job stamping without my stamping platform. Like every time I pick the thing up, I say, where have you been all my life? I don't know why it took me so long to get on board with this thing, but I love it. So let's go ahead and we'll stamp quickly our sentiment first. And it's just going to go down here in the bottom right corner. Okay. You guys can pick and choose which sentiment you want to use on which card. If you have not noticed, or maybe you've not really paid attention to the blog post, we've made 2 of the easel cards, and I've used both border stamps and 1 of the sentiment stamps. So you can flip-flop those if you want. And on the stenciled card, I made the different greenery, but I used the same sentiment. And that was just because I felt like the thanks so much was a little bit more narrow than the grateful for you. And the thanks so much fit a little nicer than grateful for you. Grateful for you just looked really, really kind of crammed down in there. And I didn't really like the look of that. So since this had a bit more of an open space, I used the larger stamp to kind of take up a bit more of that open space. And then vice versa on this one. It's a smaller space that is available, available, and so I used the smaller stamp. So that was kind of my like my reasoning for that. You guys are welcome to do whatever you please. So we've got our little sentiment down there placed where he needs to go, and let's ink him up and stamp him on there. We're going to ink one more time. Our clear blocks are wonderful, but if you have trimmers like me, they just, it's a little difficult to get them lined up multiple times. And my chamois is super great about scrubbing the ink off my platform, but I actually do not have it wet right now. So we're going to use a paper towel that's sitting here. So I'm going to now grab my greenery and we'll place it where we would like to have it. As I said, mine is overlapping my stamped area here. If you guys do not want to overlap it, you do not have to, but I am going to. So now we're going to pick it up and we'll go back in and stamp. And I have multiple stamping platforms, guys. Therefore, I have multiple magnets. You can also get them on Amazon or on the Sweet Petunia website, which is the company that puts out the Misty stamping tool. But I find that multiple magnets obviously help give a more firm, you know, where your piece is going to be held down. Sometimes what I find is that if you have a stamp that's still kind of sticky, if you stamp down on it and you don't have a good firm hold down here, it will lift up the corner of this. And so then it's obviously not going to be lined up super great. So I like to have them all, I like to have it stay kind of where it's supposed to stay. And I can usually achieve that with more than one magnet because it gives it a little extra oomph down there, as well as you guys will notice I took my paper towel and I wiped off the edge of where my ink pad got on the plastic portion here. Another great thing about having multiple magnets is that when you place multiple magnets around on your project where you're stamping, then it's impossible if you get a little bit of messy ink up here and you're kind of doing this number where you're pushing down on it, it is not going to have the ability to get down onto your project because your magnets are preventing it from doing that. Your magnets are providing the height there that your plastic, pardon me, is not able to even get that messy ink down there. So I'm kind of one of those people, I'm like, I want to, if a mistake can happen, by golly, I'm going to be the one that makes it. So let's just figure out how to fix it now or prevent it from happening, because by all means, it's going to be me that makes the blunder. So just again, another little tip for you guys in case maybe you struggle with the same thing. So we'll go ahead and add our pattern paper down here on our card base. So if you guys would rather have the brighter of the melon on the back, you can. I really liked this more muted color on the back here, which is interesting because I'm not usually drawn to muted colors. I like the bold, in your face kind of colors, but I really did love the back side of this melon pattern paper. Just have a little hangnail there that I'm trimming off. So we'll also place our white layer down. And the only thing we have left on our white layer are adding the gold glitter gems as well as the ribbon. So we've got this down here centered. So both layers are just centered in between the one on the bottom. And so we've got our little double bow that seriously is just really so cute, right? We have our gold glitter gems here. I am going to grab a glue dot, guys. You're going to hear me banging around. That was one thing I did not grab out before I turned my camera on. Now we have glue dots. And as I showed you guys in previous videos, if you will take your gold brown blend alcohol marker, the darkest of the 3 shades, and color them onto your silver glitter gems, you're going to end up with a beautiful gold glitter gem. Okay, the gold glitter gems have now been retired, and so this is a great way of still having those gold embellishments, and we're using silver glitter gems, and no one will ever even know. So I love that. Super fun. We're going to put our gems just right here in the center of our flowers. So I'm going to grab 4 little ones up here in the center of our flowers. Now, one of the things that I did do, guys, when I was using my marker to color these in, this is a very light color. it looks dark in the marker, but when it goes on to the glitter gems, it's very, very, you can really, it's translucent. You can see through it. So I actually put 3 coats of that onto my glitter gems, and it looks perfect that way. So if you guys wanted to put more to make it even bolder, you can put additional coats. And if you wanted to put less to make it lighter gold, you can do that as well. But really 3 coats was just about perfect to match the old glitter gems that we did have. So, and you can do that with all of your colors, guys. You can take multiples of your alcohol markers. You can color them with the metallic paint markers that we have in the catalog. And you also can use just a Sharpie marker. That works really, really well too. So, it's fun to be able to buy a clear gem, right? And color it to match your project. And it's cool because let's say, you know, I'm a frugal girl. We know this, right? If you followed me for any amount of time, you know this. But if you wanted red gems for a project and you bought red gems, you're only going to use them for red, right? But if you don't need red gems, then you're stuck, you know, you're stuck with them for a while till you need red ones again, and they're just sitting in your stash. If you have a neutral bit of bling, you can color it to match your project, and you're not wasting anything, and you don't have anything sitting around in your stash that you're not able to use either. So that is super fun too. So we now have our stenciled card done. And as I mentioned in the other, the watercoloring video, guys, I picked 4 colors that I really liked for my sunset. You'll notice that your pattern papers that I've included for these 2 cards are fairly neutral. So you've got the really neutral looking melon here, and you've got the really neutral looking charcoal. So that being said, I just want you guys to know that, you know, maybe if you don't like pink and purple, or you have another color palette in your head that makes a beautiful sunset, you don't have to use the 4 ink colors that I use because they're not really matchy to the pattern paper anyway. So pick some colors. You could pick more than 4, you could pick less than 4, whatever you would like, but pick colors that suit your style and your taste. And those are the colors that you can use for your sunset because they're going to match really well with this neutral color paper. So that's just another thing that I want you guys to remember. Just because I do it like this doesn't mean you have to do it like this. So that is going to conclude this video. As I said, you guys will be able to see the others on the YouTube channel, the other easel card, as well as the mini album page. And there will also be a video of the June 2023 add-on kit, which is an additional fully pre-cut kit that I will send to my customers when they place a $125 order. So if you place a $125 order on my shopping website, the information should be down below in the description of this video. You'll get 2 pre-cut kits. So just a fun little way. I'm a gift giving girl. I love to give gifts and spoil my ladies, and it's just my way of thanking them for choosing to do business with me. So I thank you guys for taking time to watch the video. If you have questions, you can leave them in a comment below. I would love if you would like and subscribe to my channel. And if you are unclear about how you can get your own pre-cut project kit this month during June 2023, just reach out to me. I'll be so happy to visit with you about it. It really, it'll be my heart to help you guys get these kits into your hands. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so grateful, and I will see you guys next time.